off the top, and we're getting a look at Via, who was, like I mentioned, hitless last night, left 2 on base. Mac Miller. A 4-pitch walk, not necessarily like her.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of Mac Morgan, and she's just trying to find the zone. But what we can expect from her is she keeps the ball down. She induces a ton of ground balls. She has a natural off speed, and she just recently added a curve this past season, and so we'll look to see that.
And yes, I said Mac Miller. That didn't take long. Mac Morgan.
I do love Mac Miller.
Yeah, me too. And Texas fans, well, they love Mac Morgan.
Yes, yes, yes.
Via down at first base with no stolen bases on the year. And here is Kaylee Wyckoff. We joked around at the top, calling her Kaylee Walkoff, but she did send us home last night, and she sent Iowa State home for good. Ball gets away from Stewart, who throws it into center field. Cleaning things up is Henry. And the Longhorns off to a clumsy start.
And Stewart, not your everyday catcher, and is jumping in tonight, catching Mac Morgan, and we'll usually see Reese Atwood behind the plate. But knowing that we got a long tourney, coach wants to preserve the legs.
And of course, we will see Atwood as a DP. Wyckoff pokes it to short. Martinez looks Via back and gets it over to Mitchell. 1 down. Expect to see a lot of that from Morgan. She induces a lot of ground balls, and she is that drop ball pitcher, which is why you have the specific catcher, Stewart, this evening. The shift is on.
Yeah, if you notice the defense, they have Leah in goal. That's going over on the shortstop side.
Base hit. Via will come around and score as Dayton couldn't possess it. Texas Tech 1-0 early. Via was probably coming around anyways, but the fact that Dayton lost the handle didn't help.
Yeah, and you saw the defense playing Riley Love. They're throwing her in as a pull hitter, and she takes this to the left side. As you see that defense, they've got 3 defenders on the left side, and she still finds a way to push through.
Well, we've talked about the Longhorn defense as there's a quick conference in the circle. Let's give you a look at it. Stewart behind the plate tonight. Good Maloney. 2 players to keep an eye on, and Vivian Martinez, as we saw her active early.
And the addition of Coach Patty Ruth Taylor, who comes out there to talk to the battery and calm them down. And Coach White has loved the addition of having her on staff, that she allows him to be more of a manager and frees him up a little bit more. He trusts what she's doing with the battery.
Low and inside from Morgan. Texas Tech is now 5 of 9 in the Big 12 tournament with runners in scoring position with that RBI. Here's Abby Orrick. Flair, right to good, almost doubles up Love. 2 down. Texas Tech had 10 runs last night in their win against Iowa State. 7 of those came with 2 outs. And that's exactly what Coach Schneider talked to us about prior to the game. Like, this is a team that has figured out a way to produce in crunch time situations.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting runners on, and it comes down to timely hitting, right? Executing when runners are in scoring position, and especially when you've got 2 outs to create a rally and to do what they did last night. I mean, they just proved that they can stay in games and they can come from behind.
There is Coach Craig Snyder. Brought with him something they love to Lubbock, offensive firepower. And we saw it on display last night, and we see none of it here in the top of the first. Well, we saw a little bit, right? We saw none of it right there on that strikeout, but Texas Tech gets a run. Red Raiders up 1-0. Longhorns coming to bat. Building a little momentum in that first inning with a run, getting one on the board. And the reason that's such a big deal is because this lethal lineup awaits. There's Ashton Maloney. She's just one of the many problems. 438, second in the Big 12.
And Ashton Maloney is definitely a standout player that stands out to me out of this lineup because, yes, we talked about Atwood in the open and how much power she possesses, but the thing that we're not talking about is how much speed Texas possesses this year.
Slapper, base hit. Ork tried to grab it, couldn't get it. Maddie Wright in the circle tonight for Texas Tech.
And Ashton Maloney going through the box, going to a hard slap, seeing that the infielders are playing her in. The left side is crashing her quite a bit and hitting them hard.
Eight stolen bases for Maloney. Down at first. Kreitz with the cannon behind the dish. Let's see if she gets tested. Counts even at 1-1. Right, 3 2/3 innings last night in Texas Tech's win over Iowa State. Surrendered 6 hits and 6 runs. 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Much like her opposition tonight in the circle for Texas, Mac Morgan, right, likes to keep the ball down in the zone and induce a lot of ground balls. 26 appearance tonight, 11-9 on the season.
You mentioned it, Pete. Maddie Wright, she keeps the ball down. She's got a drop and a curve. She'll go to her off speed a lot, mixing the speeds.
And she will need to mix it up tonight against a Texas team that has scored 397 runs. And she rises to the occasion there, bringing up Mia Scott.
And Maddie Wright picking up her first K on the day with that drop on the inside corner. Great location.
Runner on first in the top of the first, or bottom of the first rather, for the Longhorns is Viviana Martinez is in the batter's box. Texas really producing a lot of runs recently. They have run ruled their last 8 opponents, or 5 consecutive opponents rather. And of course they were all over Texas Tech last weekend in Lubbock, sweeping that series.
If you're a Texas Tech coming into today and just knowing how last weekend went, you have nothing to lose. It's just err on being aggressive, swing big like they did in the first inning, and just pitching, you know, just making sure you're hitting your spots, getting early in the count.
Trying to backhand it off of the glove. Everybody is safe. Barnhart couldn't figure it out.
And this just hits off her glove. It looked like just a little breakdown in communication, because once the ball tips off her glove, she goes back to first, but they got to communicate on that.
Lined just over the arm of Orrick. Bases are juiced. Single for Atwood. Atwood at first, Martinez at second, Maloney at third. Just one out for Wright in the bottom of the first.
This is on the inner half. She just fists this through the infield.
The freshman, Katie Stewart, hitting .391 on the season. Strokes that one down the left field line, just foul. Two-one pitch from Wright. In danger of walking in a run. On the season, Stewart is 2 of 6 with the bases loaded. The team is hitting .404. Count goes full. Wow, is this a big pitch early in the game?
This is a pivotal moment right here. Katie Stewart, such a big bat in this lineup.
Opposite field towards the gap. Howman cuts it off. A 2-run score for the Longhorns. Texas in business early.
Just a good AB from Stewart. She fouls off a couple pitches, takes a couple strikes, but then finds what she's looking for. And just her hands are just so smooth through the zone. Effortless power off of her bat. Texas up 2-1.
There is Jolie Mitchell from Rosebud, Arkansas. 372 on the season. Runners at the corners. Mitchell hitting .341 with runners in scoring position. Strokes into left field. Atwood will come in to score. Longhorns lead extended 3-1.
Longhorns, they just crush. They just crush it. I mean, Jolie Mitchell here, and it's just all solid ABs, you know, but anything that they're putting into play is solid, hard contact. Hitting it square on, squaring up to the ball, and possessing so much power.
All right, Texas Tech fans, cover your ears, but I have to cover this. When these teams met last weekend, the overall score of the series was 50-7. And we mentioned Texas has run ruled 5 straight opponents. And this is their MO. This is what they've done. This is why they've won 16 straight and why they're one of the hottest teams in the country. It's not what Texas Tech is doing wrong. It's what Texas is doing right to everybody. Longhorns outscoring opponents in the first inning 64-29, up 3-1 now. Right back up the middle. Wright stops it and gets it over in time.
Just as fast as Henry hit that to Wright, she was moving it down the line, almost safe.
Don't blame us, blame the Texas offense. Now we can finally get to the Red Raider defense. Orick and Jennings have been strong. Wright trying to minimize the damage. Time called in the circle. Good, hitting 273 on the season. Runners at second and third. Taking all the way there. Strike one. Wright fights her way to a full count.
And Wright using her drop ball again and powering it past. Good.
Stewart down at third. Mitchell with the speed at second base. Good, would love to bring them both in. On fist, opposite side. Jennings to Barnhart. Damage is minimized in the final 2 innings. All solo shots. Doesn't matter, they all led to victory. And here is Aubrey Barnhart stepping into the batter's box, and she had a huge one that tied the game at 9 in the 7th inning. How does Texas Tech get to Morgan here? How would you approach it?
I would definitely try to think about getting on the plate a little bit or moving up in the box, trying to get that drop before it gets that break. Because she's pinpointing her corner. She's hitting the outside, especially for lefties right now against Bernhardt. She's throwing that out drop. And if she can get on the plate and think about hitting something left center, getting it before it drops.
Another ground ball. Another out. We talked about those ground balls. I mean, that makes it on the year 142 ground outs that she has induced. 7 double plays to go with that.
Yeah, that's her forte, is keeping it down, and no better person to hit it to than Viviana Martinez. She is ready. She stays ready.
Here's Reagan Jennings. Find out if she's ready. Inside ball 1. Beats it foul. Longhorns just cover so much ground. It's good. With the speed and the angle she took on that, there really wasn't a chance, but it came off the bat. You thought, hey, maybe this is a base hit.
Yeah, from our point of view, that was kind of like poetry in motion. I mean, just seeing the bounce of the ball, where it was about to go. Good, not even fooled about it. Fooled on the hops. They're pretty smooth.
Yeah, this team's defense is just as good as its offense. Here's Kennedy Kreitz. Three hits last night for Kreitz, 2 RBIs. They check down the line. An official word is that she did go. Good. Knocks it down. Can't make the play in time. Kreitz is aboard. 2-out base runner.
And Kreitz hits this pretty hard. This is hard to the left of good. So this is just a hard play to make. She got there in time, but just the hop just played her a little bit too funky.
So a 2-out base runner for the Red Raiders. Logan Howman is the batter. It's worth bringing up again, the Red Raiders, 7 of their 10 runs last night came with 2 outs. So another clean inning for Texas. Austin, 6th season as Texas head coach. And a lot of folks around Austin in college softball feel like this might be the best team he's ever had.
Absolutely, and it feels like he's been here longer than 6 seasons, but I mean, just he's able to put some incredible teams together, and when his players talk about him, they talk about how he is a softball mastermind, a softball genius, and you can ask him any question and he has an answer, and so just to be able to translate that to his players, it definitely shows.
Down to third base, where he serves as third base coach when the Longhorns are up to bat. Bella Date. Fouled away. Maddie Keel in the circle. 26th appearance. 8-5 on the season. 84 1/3 innings pitched. 5.56 ERA.
And the great compliment to Maddie Wright. She's more up in the zone, spinny, rise, drop, and curve.
We saw her for 1 1/3 last night. She gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. As Coach Snyder makes the decision. to pull right and go with Keel. He said right was the one they were going to ride, but now they are going to ride Keel. With a change of pace and a 2-2 count. Dayton, again, just doing a nice job with the placement. Just missing foul again, but it's very clear what she's trying to do. And you did it well, so you know exactly what she's trying to do.
Yeah, she's trying to put that ball in play, create some havoc, use her speed. And look at that on-base percentage, 983. That's insane. It's like video game numbers.
It is, and she's hitting the 9-hole. Count stays at 2-2. We talked yesterday after the game, after Texas came back, because they hit 4 bombs, and Wyckoff was responsible for 2 of those. But the lack of slap hitters, I don't want to say lack, but just there aren't many in the Big 12 because there's so much power.
There's so much power, and, you know, we just have better coaching nowadays where kids want to hit, but it's so refreshing to see this Texas team that they possess everything. They've got the power, they've got the speed, and they've got speed hitters that are actually slapping, moving through the box. And it just creates so many different dimensions and dynamics for an offense to have that versatility. Yeah, I personally think that slap hitting has become a dying breed because of, you know, the rules of stepping out of the box, and that can kind of turn off some slap hitters from doing it and just standing in and taking their chances that way.
Ball 4. Dayton wisely didn't take the chance and was rewarded with a base on balls.
If you check her footwork, she's clean and in the box. And her hands do not go. She does not offer.
Off and running, sliding into second base. Wow, close play. They're going to say she was safe. Wouldn't be shocked if Coach Schneider wants to take another look.
And they're going to call obstruction on this play.
So that's what they're calling.
Which is tough. I mean, oh gosh, I mean, I don't know about that one. So they're saying that Oric was in her way, but I don't think so. There's no way.
What is she supposed to do other than what she just did?
There is nothing else that she did exactly the right thing. She's not in the baseline. She's in front of the bag. And if anything, you know, when she goes to tag, Bella Dayton goes wide, which is exactly what you're supposed to do as a base runner. And so he's calling obstruction on that, and I definitely don't think that's obstruction at all.
Look at that.
And yeah, she gets the ball, and then she goes to attempt for the tag. She's not set up there before the ball gets there.
Abby Oric. Her face says it all.
Yeah, if you take a look at Oric, she hasn't received the ball yet, but she's not even in the base path at all. And Bella Dayton clearly has a path to second base.
Home plate umpire Megan Raven just turned to the Texas Tech dugout and said, hey, that's enough. The fans don't have to stop, though. They keep it going. Maloney shows bunt. Let's take another look at Abby Oric when she gets this call. That's a reaction to the video board, rather.
I see the replay.
I would imagine now as an athlete, you know, things do happen so fast. So you think, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Sometimes there's a gray area. But when you can turn around and look at the scoreboard, what does that do for you?
Yeah, in this case, probably makes you a little bit more frustrated. Like, how are you not seeing what I'm seeing?
Coming on, and Love almost made a beautiful play, but throws it away. And Dayton comes around to score to pad the lead. Riley Love had the right idea, but just rushed.
Yeah, definitely made a great attempt to get to the ball. But Ashton Maloney just doing a good job of just putting this down and letting her speed do the work.
Take another look.
Riley Love doing a good job of approaching when she sees her show hands. It looks like the ball just crosses Bernhardt at first and bleeds into the runner.
See how far inside the baseline she is.
If anything, I definitely would review that. She's not in the baseline.
So the call is changed.
Which is the right call, because she definitely was outside of the baseline. So once you put that ball in play, you've got to get yourself into that running lane in foul territory. Once you're in fair territory and you impede, you're out.
So Maloney makes her first out of the afternoon, and Dayton is back to second base. Mia Scott hitting .415, struck out in her first appearance. Drills that one to right field. Deep. Gone. That got out of here in a hurry. And it happens fast against Texas. Another big lead for the Longhorns against Texas Tech early on.
Mia Scott just continuing to apply the pressure offensively for this Longhorn team. And this pitch gets out in a hurry. She gets to this ball so quick, her hands on that inner half of the plate, she just drives it, stays behind it, stays in her legs. And off the bat, she already knows. She's just looking at this thing like, that's out.
And for the sixth time this season, it is out. The two-run shot has the Longhorns up 5-1. Skied into left field. Villa comes over and grabs it. 2 down.
Now batting number 14, Atwood.
And here comes the Big 12 Player of the Year, Reese Atwood. Atwood from Sandia, Texas. Population about 350 near the Corpus Christi area. Said when she came to Texas, she got to 40 acres and she knew she was home. And boy, she has made herself right at home. 433 on the season, a single season record, 21 home runs and 83 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean, and just looking at her home run numbers, looking at last year, she had 11 home runs on the season, and this season she's doubled them at 21. And they talk about what she did in the offseason. She went to work. She looked at her cold zones, her zones that she wasn't really able to supply power, and like worked on that throughout the fall, throughout the summer. And she's already made a change in her sophomore year. I mean, just doubling her home run numbers is just impressive of just what she's been able to do at the plate.
Is that hard to look at those cold numbers? Are you like, man, I thought I was better there? I mean, you really have to remain coachable, right? And want to learn.
And that's the only way to get better, is to discover your weaknesses. And sometimes, yeah, it's hard to reveal. It's hard to look in the mirror. It's hard to watch the tape and say, oh, gosh, I'm not good at that. But to have that savvy and to have that willingness to even put in that work and get better at that, I mean, it's just a testament to why she's having such a great season and why she's our player of the year this year.
And a keen eye has her down at first base. 2-out base runner for Katie Stewart. Stewart catching tonight. Atwood down at first will usually be the catcher, but tonight with Morgan in the circle, Coach White made the call to put Stewart behind the dish. We know all too well about the pitcher-catcher batteries. Driven towards the gap in left field. It's not going to come down till it's over the wall. The Austin power plant continues to generate production. This time it is Stewart.
That is Stewart's 12th home run on the season, and that ball just got out in a hurry. I mean, just high exit velo, quick hands, short to the ball. I mean, she makes this look easy.
How about number 9, Julie Mitchell.
7-1, Texas. Have you ever been on a team like this? I know you obviously won a championship, won a gold medal, but when you are in such a rhythm, you know, having run-ruled 5 straight teams, winners of 16 straight, here they are in the tournament now, second round up 7-1, where you're just on such a roll, you want to make sure you keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I've been part of teams. I would say our 2004 Olympic team had a feel like this, where, you know, you just offensively were strong. But I think what makes this team so special, this Texas team, is just how young they are. You know, we're talking about their youth. They're freshmen, they're sophomores, the youth. I think we're going to be talking about them for a long time. But, you know, I'm so excited to continue to watch them, and they're just so fun to watch. And they possess so many different elements of the game that make them so good. It's not just pitching. It's not just defense. It's all of the above.
And Mike White has done a tremendous job of building this program. Fouled away. Getting players to campus like Mia Scott. Getting players to campus like Stewart. It's just something special. And Reese Atwood said, I knew when I came to Austin I was going to be playing for a genius. And you see that mastermind right there, the wizardry, has a rank of first in D1 offense, and his team's hitting 380.
Yeah, and it seems like, you know, Coach White with recruiting, you know, even when he took this job and left Oregon and came here, so many players left and came with him, and it's just, he breeds confidence and something that players love playing for him.
Driven deep down the line, and that's gone. Just inside the foul pole. Back-to-back home runs for the Longhorns. 8-1 Texas.
Mitchell. Back-to-back home runs here. This ball is a little elevated. She hits it out front. She pulls it and ropes it. The Longhorns up 8-1.
Eight runs in 2 innings. And they still have 1 out left to work with. Mimi Blackledge steps into the circle for Texas Tech. And there is the run production in the first 2 innings. Eerily similar to our earlier game, where Kansas got on the board first in the top of the first, and then there was really nothing they could do after that, just overwhelmed by Oklahoma. We're seeing the same thing here. ESPN, of course, the home of the College World Series. And this is where it all happens. And these are the announcers who are now just part of the lore and history of the game, and also team members here at ESPN. And some of your teammates are still your teammates, as there she is. This is just a star-studded lineup. You were part of it on the field and now in the TV booth. Got to feel pretty good about that, Natasha.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Fun to be on this side and fun to still be a part of the game.
Fun to have you, and fun if you're a Texas Longhorns fan. All these home runs have Texas up 8-1.
And just blasting 3 home runs in 1 inning. We've got Texas up still 8-1.
What you doing?
Oh, I'm just finishing up this claim for Rachel.
Huh. What's Rachel doing?
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Reputations are earned. They're built with hard work, time, and consistency. They're respected, trusted. Traveler Whiskey, the result of reputation.
East Coast, come get some. You on the West Coast, come get some. Yeah, you down south, come get some. Yeah, you up north, come get some. On the left, yeah, come get some. Best ever seen, yeah, we look clean, tear it up. Me and the whole team, get some. Yeah, you up north, come get some. On the left, yeah, come get some. On the right, yeah, come get some. In the back, yeah.
In Oklahoma City. To the Red River rivalry coming to light before our eyes, and those two squads could possibly be meeting in the finals. OGE Energy Field. Pete Souza with Natasha Watley. Good to Mitchell. That was the Texas defense. Let's take a look at some of this offense.
Yeah, and just going back to Stewart's home run, we were admiring her swing and admiring her face. She doesn't even blink until after she makes contact. I mean, it's like I do this every day.
I make walking up the stairs look a lot more difficult, right?
It's good stuff. Just power. Just power, power, power.
What's it like to be in a rhythm like that?
Super calm. I mean, I think just how calm she looks, it's just like it's another day, you know? Like, this is what I do. I hit for power and I hit the ball over the fence, and I do it effortlessly. And it's just, oh my gosh, I mean, amazing to watch.
I'm assuming that's what they call the zone.
That's the zone. Yeah, that is it. Where everything slows down. You know, just I hit the home run and then I blink.
How helpful is it when your teammates and the players around you are hitting the ball so well?
So contagious. I mean, we talked about this earlier when we were watching Oklahoma, and just it's almost like a domino effect or like a fire that just gets lit and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And hitting is so contagious when you can see your teammates having great at-bats, quality at-bats, staying in at-bats longer, putting the ball in play. It just breeds confidence in yourself. And then you start to mimic that same behavior, and it gets pretty fun.
Texas 58-8 in their last 4 games, including this one against Texas Tech. Morgan delivers. Base hit, much needed. Wyckoff, who else? Had a huge night last night. Packing a lot of power in that little frame. Hitting 2 home runs.
Yeah, she just does such a good job of just staying short and compact. And when we talked to Coach Snyder, he said her swing is just simple, not doing too much.
Brings up Riley Love, who has had an amazing season. The shift is on for Love. 13 home runs on the season. Love missed 27 straight games at the tail end of last year. And when she came back, it was down the stretch in the season, and one of the games she came back in was against Texas in the Big 12 tournament. And she hit a home run in that game, and you could maybe consider that a turning point for her entire career, as she has been so productive this season. And she mentions that is her favorite home run moment ever. A year ago, hitting a home run against Texas in the Big 12 tournament. Let's see if she can replicate that performance. With that shift on, do players close their stance, make adjustments?
You should. I mean, if I see the shift, I would definitely try to see if I could break the shift, or if anything, just completely obliterate, swing as hard as you can and try to get something through the infield still. On the left side, I'm sorry.
2-2 for Riley Love. Opposite field. Finds some space. Love will stay at first. Motoring over to third is Wyckoff.
Yeah, I mean, just good pitch location, but she just fights it. I mean, that pitch is on the middle out part of the plate, and she just goes with it and breaks the defense. And they're all playing her to a pull, so you would assume that they would throw her more inside and play her to pull, but she does an incredible job of keeping her hand inside of that ball and going right side.
Ork rips it down the line. Run will score. Love coming around third. She's going to give it a try. Play at the plate. Out.
Coach Snyder is wanting that obstruction call. He wants that called on his side.
And we will get a review. A remarkable sequence of events, and we'll take another look at it.
Abby Orrick just completely roping this ball down the line. But if you take a look at home, Stewart, they're saying that she's obstructing, which I think that she's not. And if anything,
The call on the field is out at home. Of course, it is under review. Speculation now, which is just another word for guessing as to whether it's an obstruction review or, like you said, whether it's safe or out, which if it is,
right.
We're calling safe. Here we go. Coach Mike White will huddle up with the umpires. Craig Snyder joins the party.
Yes.
Called safe
more
at the
so,
plate.
And I say yes just because I want them to get the play right. Let's just say that out loud, you know. But because they both did everything right, and just the obstruction rule is just becoming such a big part of our game, and a play like that, everybody did their job. Base running, the throw is on line. Stewart does a great job of not being in the line. She puts a good tag on. So let's just get the play right.
Riley Love, set to become a chiropractor after this. Going to begin school at Parker University in Dallas. Did a nice job with that slide of avoiding getting on her back, and that's the reason why she was able to whack that right hand down and be safe. Here's Demi Elder, who homered last night. Orrick down at third base. Slices it down the line. Out of play.
Everybody clap your hands. Clap, clap, clap your hands.
Martinez gets it over to Mitchell, who fires it home. Coming across to score is Orrick. Lead is now trimmed in half, 8-4.
And Orrick almost hesitated. I wasn't sure if she didn't know how many outs there were, but just to make sure you're seeing where the defenders are, and the defenders were playing back. And that ground ball was taking Martinez up the middle. So seeing that ball angle, she should have immediately gone. She ends up being safe, but it looked like she hesitated. I got a little nervous there.
And Barnhart, who sent us to extra innings last night with a big home run late against Iowa State. Towering fly ball. Henry gets underneath it at the warning track and puts it away. Texas Tech gets 3 runs in the top of the third. Much needed. Back in Oklahoma City. And Craig Snyder's Cardiac Kids trying to do it again today. They came storming back against Iowa State last night. They trailed 6-0 in the 4th inning. Scored 6 runs in the final 3 innings, so maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, and never count them out, right? I mean, just what they were able to put together last night. They were able to put together some beautiful hits. Obviously, our favorite of the Kylie walk-off.
Now, the key to winning, though, is you got to stop the opposition at the plate. And they haven't been able to do that so far today. 8 runs in the first 2 innings for Texas. Mimi Blackledge would love to shut the door on the Longhorns offense. Leanne Good in the batter's box.
And Blackledge trying to get that curveball going. She works side to side.
2-1 pitch. Smoked to the right side. but comes down in a hurry, and Holloman puts it away. Bella Dayton shows bunt. Love couldn't get there in time.
Nice idea by Bella Love. You saw Bella Dayton, I'm sorry.
That's
Love.
that sounds like a pop song.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just, all these names, but I'm sorry. Love was playing far back, and so Bella Dayton, just when she goes to show her bunt, if she gets that down, she's safe.
Well, we were talking yesterday about Riley Love's name. You said she could go on tour with Taylor Swift.
No, I said that about Reese Atwood.
That's it, Reese Atwood. Maybe all three of them could go on tour. Right now, Dayton's going to take another trip into the corner, standing up at second with a double.
Bella Dayton, I mean, just so dynamic. I mean, you see her first at bat running through the box, trying to slap, first pitch trying to bunt, and here just applying some power, middle in, down and in, and she just drops the bat head, picks up a double.
Top of the lineup for Texas, Ashton Maloney. Counts even at 1-1. The footwork from these slap hitters is just amazing. And we talked about it last night. If it was an NFL quarterback, you'd say, well, their feet are jumpy. They got happy feet. This actually works for the slap hitter to their advantage.
Well, you're legally cheating and trying to get a head start, and that's essentially what you're doing, is trying to get yourself going. And you essentially want to be at top speed or close to it once you put that ball in play. And it's just a seamless thing. You're applying pressure on defense, and it can be fun.
You played softball pretty much all your life, right? Up until you were 35 years old and you retired as a professional. Couldn't find the handle there for Oric. Usually sure-handed. That'll be an error. Runner reaches. When did you learn how to slap it? When did you feel like, oh, okay, I've got this? How long does that take for a young player?
Yeah, I didn't start. I was probably a late bloomer. Probably didn't start till 12, 13. Honestly, I mean, I have coached some athletes, and they didn't start until they got into college. And it's just a skill that you acquire and that you learn. And so it doesn't necessarily take a certain amount of years, obviously, with anything. And the more that you do something, the more experience that you do, the better you get. But with slap hitting, it's definitely a skill. And once you train it, you can be pretty good at it.
Wow, nice catch by Villa. A liner, and she grabs it on the move. Runners on first and second, but 2 outs.
Mia Scott just squares this up pretty good. And hits us pretty hard. I mean, just being a hard out, that's all you can ask for.
That's why you pay all that money for those expensive glasses. They look good, and obviously they're effective. Look at that. That's a good look.
That's nice.
We can only hope Ariana Villa has an NIL deal going. That is a good look. Oh, one pitch. Hit to deep center field. All the way back, over the wall, gone. Martinez to the deepest part of OGE Energy Field at Devon Park. And the power back on for Texas.
Viviana Martinez just picking up her 4th home run on the season. And Pete, these swings they're next level. I I mean, this ball is elevated, but just so compact, short to the ball, stays through it, and she knows right off the bat that thing is out of here. And like you said, to the deepest part of the field.
Reese Atwood beats it foul down the left field line. Lead is back to 7 now for Texas. Bases have been cleared. Longhorns 4 of 8 with runners in scoring position today. Atwood, Love grabs it and whips it over to Barnhart. But more damage done by them today. How have you kept this offensive production going?
Well, the game doesn't know that. We just got to keep having good at-bats and be patient and get good pitches to hit. I mean, that's really the secret to the game. You start chasing, getting ahead of yourself, you're in trouble.
Coach White, Mac Morgan is pitching an incredible game. What are you seeing from her today?
Well, she's at her best when she's keeping the ball low in the zone, getting ahead, and unfortunately she got behind it when they're coming and getting her. But right now we need her to shut them down this bottom half of the inning.
All right, Coach Mike White, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you a lot. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mac Morgan, who has had a lot of time in between innings to collect her thoughts with the firepower coming from the Texas offense. 3 in the first, 5 in the second, and 3 in the third.
Yeah, and you just talk about this offense and how much confidence it breeds into a pitcher. As a pitcher, when you know that your offense can supply you some run support, I mean, you can just be so confident. Yeah, she had a couple of innings where she got behind, but she's, for the most part, I think has been holding her own and still inducing a ton of ground balls and holding her own in the circle.
Morgan spins it. The flare down the left field line. Drops for a base hit. Jennings, no out base runner. Like it or not, for Coach Craig Snyder, this is familiar territory, and we saw last night their ability to come back by 6 runs down. They trail now by 7 in the top of the 4th. Kreitz hits it right to Martinez. Double play, no. Good, couldn't make the throw. Was wide left of Mitchell. Kreitz may have been safe anyways.
Yeah, it looked like they almost had the double play. Got that ball out of her hand in the transition, but it looks like she got it stuck. And Viviana Martinez doing a great job of just getting rid of this, getting the double play going. But she had a little hesitation there. But you're right. Kreitz does have a good speed and looked like she might have been saved.
Double clutching there was good. And we see Kreitz at first with 1 down after the fielder's choice. Holloman. Martinez gets some more work. Throws wide. Coming around to third is Kreitz. And going into second base is Holloman. The Texas Tech heartbeat continues to pound away.
Number 0, Ariana Villa.
Quick visit to the mound. Mac Morgan is finding herself in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like she's doing a good job of still inducing some ground balls. And you saw there a beautiful ground ball, and Viviana Martinez doing a good job of coming in on it and charging it, but just the ball got away from her.
Runners on second and third. Texas Tech making a push in the top of the fourth. And oh, by the way, get ready to see more of the Red Raiders coming into the tournament ranked 39th in the RPI. They are primed for a postseason run inside of that magic number 40 to more than likely be selected to play in the postseason. Coach Craig Snyder has witnessed some offensive production these past 48 hours, or 24 hours, I should say. Something to lean on. Via, big cut, big miss. One out. 0-2 count. Coming home with it is good. Getting tagged out at home plate is Kreitz.
That's just a good heads-up play by Good. Just knowing the speed of the runner and knowing how fast this ball got to her, and knowing that she still had time to make this play.
Brings up Kaylee Wyckoff with runners at the corners. 8th ground ball out that has been induced today by Morgan. Mitchell grabs it, steps on the bag, and the Texas Tech.
Talented offense, and so it's important for us to kind of keep changing looks and trying to buy outs, right?
Yes, offensively against Mac Morgan, what's the adjustments?
I mean, it's 70 and down, you know, so you've got to really try to get it below this ball and try to make your outs in the air. And so that's the challenge, but that's what makes her great as well. It's got really good down to it, so you've got to get the ball in the air.
All right, Coach Snyder, we'll let you get back to it. Thanks.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Olivia Raines, 22nd appearance, 7-2 on the season. We mentioned we saw her last night. A terrific effort from her last night. 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit and no runs. Enabled her team to get back in the game after trailing by 6 against Iowa State. In the same exact position again tonight. Let's take a look at Texas Tech, their season recap and tournament resume. As we mentioned, the postseason push is underway. Opposite field, once again for Stewart, and she is on again.
Stewart just so hard to pitch to. I mean, she can hit all zones and hit all pitches.
29-20 is the record for Texas Tech as we finally get to that resume. We promise you. Their 39 RPI ranking is certainly good enough. 2-13 versus top 25 opponents. Bit of a black eye.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're making their case, that they belong in the postseason, and organically they're playing against the best competition in the Big 12.
You got to get Coach Snyder in the postseason. You know, he's just one of the all-around smart coaches and great guys to talk to, and the family atmosphere that he has really put his arms around at Texas Tech.
Yeah, just because we like him, we want him to be in postseason. I'm right with you. No, I mean, what he's been able to build here at Texas Tech, you can already see a change and a shift in culture, and a shift in belief. I mean, even just last night, seeing those at bats and that come from behind win, it's a belief factor, and he's definitely instilling that into his team.
Yeah, great dude, great coach. And of course, he would love to see another comeback tonight. Two on now for Texas. That brings up Jolie Mitchell. Check that, Caden Henry, as Mitchell just swapped. Henry 0 for 2.
And Olivia Raines also keeps the ball down, and she'll go in and out. She'll mix her off speed.
Three-one pitch coming. Raines continues to battle. Full count. Take another look.
And this is her rise on the inside corner. Swing and a miss.
Line foul. Nobody out. Bottom of the fourth. Texas has scored 3 or more runs in every inning. Beautiful look at the softball capital of the world. One more game for you coming up after this one. Baylor and UCF. Baylor swept UCF in Waco a few weeks ago. A crucial series for Baylor to win. And they did it with pitching. And we will see some more pitching tonight. We are looking forward to it. This is Brittany Newman, Baylor assistant. Taking a look from her perch. And there are the Baylor fans.
Just getting some scouting in.
Fouled out of play. So 16 pitches for Olivia Raines and no outs. Smoke to center field. Back is Elder. Reaches up and snags it. Play of the day defensively. Tagging from second and going to third is Stewart.
Just spectacular all around. I mean, just what a battle here that Caden Henry had at this bat, driving it to deep center. You're thinking that she's going to get a hit, but Demi Elder says, no, not today, and just makes an incredible catch going back.
Brings up Katie Simmons. Elder, there you go. There's some joy. Try to make it look like business as usual. That was too good. Katie Simmons going to put Elder to work again. Hallman comes over and grabs it. But coming across the score is Stewart, sacrifice fly for Simmons.
Just a good, productive out there of knowing you got runners in scoring position and getting that ball to the green.
You got to mention it now. It extends the lead to 8 coming up on the 5th inning. Bella Dayton walked and doubled. Seeing eye single. Bobbling it in right field is Holman. And sliding safely into second base is Dayton.
Dayton is so fast when you watch her. It almost looks like she's like floating, scooting. Just watch her. She's just scooting. And I mean, covers so much ground so fast. She's quick.
Brings up Maloney, hitting .435 on the season, 1 for 3 today. Ball got away from Kreitz and flipped it to Raines too late. The speedster slides across the plate. Extending the lead now, 13-4. As Mitchell slips into the darkness of the Texas dugout, but all you can see right now are runs and daylight if you're the Texas Longhorns. Maloney will take first. Runners at the corners now for the Longhorns. Second walk of the day issued by Raines. Victoria Hunter from Houston, Texas, the freshman. Getting her first taste of the Big 12 tournament. .394 on the season for Hunter. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Could improve upon that RBI number. Check swing, called strike. Raines over for a strike. And there is Kreitz circling the batter's box. Looks like she caught that one somewhere. Down the line, good look at Dayton. "30 pitches this inning for Olivia Raines. It has not been easy. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Scooting down to second base is Maloney as it skips over into the glove of Kreitz. Payoff pitch coming from Raines. Officially a hit batter. And Hunter takes first, and the bases are now loaded. A 13-4 lead for Texas as we see Mike White. "13 runs is the most ever scored by Texas in the Big 12 tournament." Jordan Whitaker is the pinch hitter. Whitaker down to the count 0-2. The senior Raines always looks composed out there, regardless of what's going on. Fouled straight back.
Pitch clock. That's what she was trying to put her hands up and say. She wasn't ready.
Towering fly ball. Ork puts it away, and one last chance coming up for Texas Tech in a row.
Estelle coming in to close the door, and she's more up in the zone. She's got that curve and off speed. So a little bit different look than Mac Morgan, who is mainly down.
Riley Love waits on it. Big cut, fouled straight back. Love, the senior from Keller, Texas, jogs down the line to have a quick conversation with Coach Snyder. Quick hands up here by the four-time first-team All-American. A piece of paper, it took air. I don't know how you caught that, but you did.
Fast twitch muscles.
Still, you still got it, Natasha Watley.
Oh, that's funny.
2-2 count. Excuse me, 0-2 count. Love 2 for 2 today. Goes down swinging.
Estelle just coming in to close the door and goes in on her hands, and she couldn't do anything with this. Picks up her first K.
Texas so unique this year. We mentioned quite possibly one of the best teams that Mike White has ever had. But so often you see these elite teams in college softball, and they have an ace, somebody they can go to night in and night out. Well, Texas, they have a staff, really. Estelle Check is part of that staff. Lally Gutierrez goes as deep as Sophia Simpson, Tegan Cavan. And this is just, every time you turn around, you got another talented pitcher. And that's why some of these pitchers weren't even eligible for postseason awards because they didn't meet the qualifications.
Right. And Cavan just meeting the eligibility this past weekend. She hit 100 innings pitched.
Oric 1 for 2 today, hitting 328 on the season with 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. Pulls it, base hit. Texas Tech trying to stay alive.
And this is just smoked. Look at Oric's hands. I mean, just so quick to the ball. That gets through the infield quick.
See the shadows setting in here at the ballpark. Night getting ready to fall on Oklahoma City. We've got one more game for you tonight following this one. And it is a doozy. Baylor and UCF launched into left field till the warning track goes. Dayton squeezes it, 2 down.
Dayton just, again, so much speed. I mean, she covers so much ground out there. And they talk about this outfield being one of the fastest outfields that they've had with Dayton, Henry, and Maloney in right field. And they just are able to do so much, cover so much ground.
Elder fouled away.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Base hit, runners at first and second. One for 2 on the afternoon. Comes to the plate to Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. Sure she'd like to go uptown here, take a bite out of this lead, and keep the Red Raiders playing in the Big 12 tournament. Remember, Texas Tech doesn't score here. Mercy rule in effect. And that would end things.
Still going to a change.
Trying to catch the corner, almost did. Ball 2. Estelle Check just stalks the circle. Such confidence. Rise ball misses. Full count. Hit to center field. That could do it. Henry puts it away. And Texas, round 2. Another run rule victory for the Longhorns. Their 6th straight, 17th